Welcome to another episode of Ballas Union. We got CP running the guard, point guard, shooting guard, combo guard. He does it all.
Everything.
Yep. We got GeauxDee. He's running both forward spots. Power forward, small forward, point forward. You know what I'm saying? He's a triple threat today. We on our threes today, 3-on-3 tournament over there at Rucker Park. And you got me, Giovanni, holding down the paint. Normally it's Smash, but Smash took a.
He's in negotiations right now.
He's off. He's off Kyrie.
He just don't want to be here today.
Right. He got his contract, and the first day of signing his contract, he took a PPO day. The first day signing his contract, he took a PPO day.
Oh my goodness!
And talking about PPO days, Kyrie Irving took a PPO day, so he treats basketball like a 9 to 5, and he just said, "I'm not going to go to work." And I guess the Nets were okay with it because they just said he's not coming to work.
Yeah,
they're not okay. You hear the rumor mill's already swirling. They say they're unhappy with his behavior.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
I had to read that article twice. I was like, "Can he do that?"
Right. So Kyrie missed a couple of games already. I want to say it's up to 4 games already. And initially, it was just like he just said he didn't want to play basketball, and the Nets were saying that he's not going to play due to personal reasons. And to me, Kyrie always seemed like a player that he was never passionate about basketball. He's a great player. He's a future Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? But for him, basketball is just a job. Mm-hmm. And I get it. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody that has – I don't love my job, but it's the easiest job I ever had, and it pays very well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go the extra mile for them. You know, I'm not going to kill myself for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that for any job anymore.
No,
so I get –
miss you tomorrow.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I get that stance on Kyrie. You know, the NBA is just a job, and I see why fans are so upset with him and so angry with him because he treats it as a job. He's not passionate. He doesn't consume it. It's not his everyday life like somebody like LeBron James. You can see the passion in LeBron James.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see that with Kyrie. And with
all that ring already.
Huh?
He got that ring already.
Right.
Yeah, and even with the ring, I don't think he was even into the game like that. I mean, he said coming into the league that basketball wasn't his main concern. Like that was just his side hustle.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, hey, his side hustle pays very well.
Very well. I wish I had that side hustle.
Right. With all that being said, just as yesterday, the Nets put out a report. Kyrie's going to miss the next game due to personal reason. Then a video leak of Kyrie, his sister, and his dad, which looked like they were in a nightclub, an empty nightclub at that. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was only a few people in there, and she was celebrating her birthday. Mm. So this morning or this afternoon, the Nets put out a new statement saying that Kyrie Irving, it was a no-show, no call. So now he's AWOL. Like yesterday, he was there. Now today, he isn't here. So, and they do this time and time again. You know what I'm saying? And what the Nets are doing is trying to put out these PR fires because they knew what Kyrie was doing. You know what I'm saying? They knew what kind of player you was getting when you signed him to that contract. And now they're trying to save face, trying to save optics, and make it seem like they didn't know about the situation. They didn't know what's going on. Like, come on, you knew what's going on. He does this all. I'm not gonna say he does it all the time, but you knew what was happening. Yeah. Like the same thing with Houston Rockets fans. Like they didn't know James Harden don't be in strip clubs. Like he be in strip clubs with you guys. Like how you don't know?
No. That's one thing we definitely knew. He got his jersey retired, so we definitely know. But the way it looks right now, it looks like James Harden fit right on into that madness. So
exactly.
It might be a good trade.
And shoot, how they all gonna pass each other the ball? Shoot, they're not gonna lace up the. They're not gonna be on the court at the same time. Kyrie's gonna take 2 weeks off. Harden gonna take a game off. Durant's gonna get hurt.
Durant feel right now like he come back off this injury, think he gonna have a good season, and he got to deal with this foolishness.
The only way he erases this is if he scores 100.
That's the only way he could do it.
That's it.
He got to carry the team.
Shoot. But I think Durant knew about it. I think ownership knew about it. Only person that might not know about it was Steve Nash. But the same thing with like Kawhi Leonard, like some players were upset that he's getting special treatment. Like, hey, stars get special treatment. Jordan was allowed to beat up players in practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron James is allowed to bring his entourage on the team planes and buses and stuff.
Unless you're in Miami.
Right. But star players get special treatment, and you know what I'm saying? Until you're a key piece of winning the finals, until you're a star player, then you can voice your complaints then.
I mean, can you just go off the grid though? I mean, even they knew where Dennis Rodman was.
But they allowed Dennis to do that. They were like, let Dennis go. Let's pray he comes back.
Yeah. See, now it's a different time now. So I'm saying the Nets allow Kyrie Irving to do the same thing. And now since it looks bad, because we're in the pandemic, it looks bad because the NBA is canceling all these games or postponing these games. Now they want to save face. So like, nah, like keep that same energy. You knew what he was doing.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, we know, like, you knew what you was getting in Kyrie Irving when you signed him. Right. This is something that he's always done. Basketball is not his main focus. And so, I'm not surprised by it. I'm surprised the media and everybody else that I can see the fans being upset. They want to see a good product. But everybody else around it and the brass and those that know him, this is just every day for Kyrie. It's nothing new.
I think at the end of the day, Kyrie is just a weird kid. He's just good at basketball.
He's what they call him, flat earthers. He's a flat earther. So you already know where he stands.
You know that weird kid in the class, the one where you was like, I ain't gonna hang out with him. It just so happens he was the starting point guard. So you was like, well, all right. I'm not gonna tell him not to play.
Hey, man, you gotta always be cool with the weird kids, man. You never know what's gonna happen, bro. You never know what's gonna happen.
That's what they don't want him to flip. They just okay. You need
space. Go on, get your space.
Go ahead. Put me on your list, on your safe list.
Safe list, right?
Don't put me on the other list.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the only thing upsetting to me is just that now he's getting all this bad press, bad media, and even bad press from the Nets organizations themselves, basically saying he's AWOL. Like that's what upsets me. Like every time, it's always the black athletes. The white athletes can get away with murder, literally. And they'll just brush it under the table. Ben Roethlisberger.
You said Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, that was rape, wasn't it?
Yeah, rape.
That's different, huh?
Yeah.
Either way, he got away with it.
But he did get away with it.
Twice.
Sure. Twice.
And his reward was a Super Bowl ring.
Well, Ray Lewis got 2 rings.
Yeah.
But that's alleged. That still hasn't been proven yet. That's alleged. Remember they couldn't find. They were searching for the suit. They hadn't found. If they didn't find that suit, he'd probably been guilty. But they didn't find that suit. So
hey, well, that's
after the Super Bowl he go.
Too funny. But I don't even know if this is a race issue. As much as I like to call out things for being what they are. I think he's just weird, man.
Yeah, he is weird. But like I'm in this basketball group, and as soon as something bad happens with a bad athlete, they just swarm the page with it. And all they will just talk trash about Kyrie the entire day. Like, dude, 2 weeks ago you loved the guy. Now that he took a day off to hang out with his sister for her birthday, now it's an issue.
Kyrie's gonna be hard to give the pass to, though. I'm telling you, like, even though you might be right, like that, his stock ain't good. Like, this is because, first of all, he went to Boston, and that's one of the most racist places ever. They love you on the court, but as soon as you get off, you back to being a coon and a darky. Right. And that's not if you might be one on the court too. But they have that weird relationship where they love you anyway, and you still have a good time. But he messed that up. He messed up Cleveland next to LeBron James, of all people. He just happened to win first.
No, I know Cleveland messed him up, and I think that's where it all started. Cleveland messed him
Duke.
Huh?
He played 9 games at Duke.
But he got injured, though. He got injured in Duke, though. His career, well, that's what they claiming it was an injury. Maybe he was out searching to see if the earth was flat or not. But that's what they say. But this is now looking hindsight at 2020. Looking at it now, you can see where, this guy has a shady history of of missing work and all this kind of stuff, just doing other things besides his so-called main job was playing at basketball. But
at some point, you got to recognize the common denominator, and I feel like he's the weird kid. He's just good at basketball.
Right.
Man, I agree.
How much do you want to deal with that? How much do you want to pay him? And he then brought you another cash cow in Kevin Durant, so
they can't be too mad, huh?
Can't be too mad. I don't know what their record is, but they can't be too mad.
They're making the playoffs. 10 teams make the playoffs, and they're in the East. But yeah, and talking about the NBA season might get put on hold, and they might. So right now, there's multiple games. Multiple games are getting postponed, and the games that are getting played, the teams are like the other night. Philadelphia played with only eight men on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Heat was scheduled to play a game, and literally they had 10 players that were ineligible to play.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? And
then that bubble was a little more effective than they thought.
And see, GL and I talked about off wax about this earlier today, and I was like, that's why they should have just put everybody in a bubble for the regular season. And I understood the fact that they have families and all this kind of stuff, but this is your job. Is this part of your job requirement? You have to play in this bubble. Then it is what it is. I mean, to make that kind of money, it's not like they're going off to war. They go and play basketball, and in order for the season to continue on, they may have to go back down to Florida and get back in that bubble.
They're going to have to do something because this isn't going to change. It's not like in football where you got 53 people, and if 10 of them hurt, you still got both sides of the ball.
But not only that, you got to think about they only play once a week, so it's not all this absorbent traveling going on. Like for NBA, they got to go in hotels, they got to get on these planes. It's more travel, more commute going on versus football. So you see,
they got to go have fun too.
Yeah, and you know how come on, NBA gonna be NBA players no matter what, COVID or not. They got to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, right. Well, the NBA, they want to play the COVID card when it's convenient because we all off wax or on wax, we're all in agreement that last year bubble tournament or bubble season should have never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they should have never started this year's season in December.
Now,
they should have started in February or March.
They should have taken a little bit more time because you know how much time and research they did into creating the bubble. Right. That's why it worked because it wasn't like the NFL. It wasn't like Major League Baseball. It wasn't like hockey who was like, all right, we'll think about it. Let's just do it. NBA planned this thing out. They got everything that they needed in place. They even got their CYA stuff in place. And instead, they turned around and said, we're going to do this right before Christmas and get the rest of the season out. And we're not going to do anything that we did from the bubble.
No protocols, right.
We went from all the protocols to no protocols.
Right.
And so this is what you get.
And the only stipulation is if we catch you in public without your mask, you to get fined or suspended. That's all they're doing.
But the thing is, I want to say none of the star players have been out. Obviously, like one team might be down to 8 players, but you'll never see LeBron with it. You'll never see. Well, maybe now you'll see Kawhi with it since he's been sucking it up a little bit. But like even the James Harden and the Russell Westbrook stuff, they got it before they went to the bubble. But then everybody came out clean in the bubble. Russ might get it because the Wizards are trash. Right. So he can get it, but I'm telling you, you're not going to
he can get it. That's sad.
Yeah, you're not going to see like anybody on the Lakers except maybe like Caruso or somebody. He might get it. But we're basically just willing it to see the games and the teams that we want again, just with more games.
So, right. And now the NBA's a rumor to add extra steps that doesn't solve anything. So they say they're going to have a 2-week window. I guess they're going to shut down for like 2 weeks or whatever, and they're going to put in new protocols. Here's a couple of new protocols. No hugging or interaction with rival players or players from the other team. And like no high fives, no tapping of the hands during free throws. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like no hugging, but so can we still box out?
Right. I'm like, this makes no sense. Like,
that's awkward.
So they're gonna have to wear long sleeves, play basketball with gloves on, and they can't touch each other. It's all jump shots.
You're saying
that's about the league right now anyway.
They're gonna just we'll have a glorified shoot around. That's what we get ready to have.
And everybody has their own ball. We don't want the ball being passed around.
The Nets are gonna win then. Kyrie will be back in a heartbeat.
So everybody playing with 5 balls. Okay, you shoot.
Shoot.
This is nonsense. This is madness, man.
The old Golden State would have needed that. They would have made, 53s each.
Right.
Nobody would touch them.
This is just again, they need to go back in the bubble. They're letting the players dictate to them on what needs to be done. They know what the right thing to do. They just let the players dictate to them about we need to be home, we need to be in our surroundings and all this kind of stuff. When you know that the bubble worked and had you waited till after the new year and instituted the bubble, just did like a 30-game season, 35-game season, and just played it out and stayed in the bubble for 2 months or 3 months and been done with it, man.
Right. I don't think it's the players. I want to say it's the owners. The owners push for the season to start quick. The owners pushing for they can have, they're selling tickets.
The owners are losing money. I mean, you think about it, they got 15,000-20,000 seat stadiums and they only letting 2,000-3,000 people in. So they're losing money. I don't really think it's about the owners losing money because they're making that money up back up on sponsorship. Because every time you look at the stadium, half the stadium is covered with sponsorship.
Right. So that's who's pushing for outside the bubble. That's what I'm talking about.
So at the end of the day, either you do that, you either have private planes and you bubble them in each city. I don't know what the answer is, but whatever they're doing right now, it's not working, and we're going to see the further we go along, the worse this is going to get.
Right. Well, it was going to be a disaster anyways because they should have never played in a bubble, and we're just rolling downhill at this point.
We're going to see some back-to-back bubble champs.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Ain't nobody on the Lakers catching nothing.
Nothing.
Moving along, we have HBO put out a 2-part, or HBO is going to put out a 2-part Tiger Woods documentary. The first part's already out. And it's highly, well, let's put it like this. Tiger Woods is a private person and he didn't sign off on this.
Fire.
They'll say.
That's what I said.
And this is also,
it was trash.
Right.
I think they wanted a good story though. Like I think they wanted him to all the stuff where he won the Masters and all that stuff.
Oh, that's in there. All that's in there.
You gotta take this with a grain of salt, though. You got to remember, HBO also put out the Surviving Neverland documentary, which they end up having to retract because there was a lot of false information.
I tell you what, I was in the Power had gotten good at the end. The last episode of Power got really good. So I was down in the dumps Sunday, no Power. We got to wait till the next book come out. And then I was like, oh, Tiger Woods. Let's check this out. And I mean, that was the best 2.5 hours ever. It was ever. I mean, it ranks higher than the Jordan documentary. It's a must-see TV, bro. It's must-see TV. I don't.
That means he's a bunch of lies. Then
I'm gonna have to check it out because I got to see for myself. I thought it was supposed to be some old fluffy happy ending stuff.
Oh no, this is straight.
It's going down.
Straight telenovela, soap opera. This is
it's a Telemundo.
They going in on nobody's safe, man. Nobody's safe. It was. Let me tell you how it was so riveting and so good. They interviewed one of the. I guess he was the family friend. Not to give it away, but to tell you how they didn't pull no punches. Yeah. The guy was like, "Hold up, pause for a second, man." Champ, he called Tiger Champ. Champ, you're gonna really hate me for this one, but I gotta tell a story. And he told a story. It was like, so I don't think it was far-fetched for it to be close to the truth than it isn't to the truth. But it's must-see TV, man. It's definitely must-see TV.
Is the ex-wife on there? Did she produce it?
Well, they're getting to that part at the end. They interviewed his childhood girlfriend. Yeah. Tiger, you won on that one, bro. Way to get out of that bind.
Way to get out of the rough.
Because that one didn't turn out so good. She was there for it mentally, but physically, oh my gosh, it was definitely.
So she was on Tiger King as well. She's Tiger Woods and Tiger King.
But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. I can't wait for you guys to watch it so we can go in depth and really talk about it, man. So we're really not trying to spoil it, but for the viewers and the listeners, y'all got to check this out, man. It's definitely must-see TV.
Right. And then we got the NFL playoffs. So the past week we had Seattle versus the Rams.
What time the Bulls play? I mean, what time the Bears play Gio next week?
Hold on. You're jumping ahead.
They already violated and played 1 week extra anyway.
Yeah, you jumped. Right. This is not how we run the program, sir. This is a family show.
Oh man!
So we had lost my train of thought. We had the Seattle Seahawks versus the Rams. The Rams pulled up the upset.
Was it though?
I don't know why I didn't. Why I underestimated the Rams so much. But you know what? The backup got hurt. The backup got a concussion, so Jared Goff had to come in with 4 fingers. Mm-hmm. But what's it called? Akers took off, man.
Yeah, Akers took off. Now and then that defense, like so people you never heard of on defense, like Leonard Floyd, killed that game.
Is he an ex-Bear?
Yeah, he's an ex-Bear. I always knew he was good.
Yeah, I did. I liked him too.
Another guy, Joseph Day, on the defensive tackle for the Rams, he was out there killing, making the stat line doesn't show it, but he was out there making plays. And then the Cleveland Browns embarrassed the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we always
they tried to give it back a little bit at the end.
They go 18 points. Let's go 18. What was the final score? 35 to
48 to 37. 40,
yeah, something like that. I knew it was. But I wasn't surprised by Seattle, and I wasn't surprised by Pittsburgh. Only person who was surprised by Pittsburgh was Pittsburgh fans because they were just drinking the black and gold Kool-Aid. But for Seattle, we saw that coming. They came out the season really, really hot. And once the NFL, like they always do, once they get game film on you, they start strategizing on you. All those fly routes to Lockett and DK seemed to go down and down and down, and then their season just imploded from that point. And they just rode the wave. They just stumbled into the playoffs.
That OC got to leave because he didn't change anything from week 1 to week 17 to in the playoffs.
Yeah,
this is correct. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Washington football team.
That was a good game.
The only highlight was that the quarterback the Washington football team had, I think his name was Heineken. He looked pretty good.
Was it Heineken or Heineke?
Either way.
It's Heineke, but I'm going to call him Heineken.
But you know what? You know he was at the protest. He was at the riot.
Did I? Yeah. Talking about the riot.
He MAGA, so he got canceled. Yeah. Now, if he had won, they probably would have let him slide. But since he lost, they was like, and he's a Trump supporter. Get him.
Just pile on.
Yep. So he needed to win to keep that hood over his face.
That was a really good, even though it was never in doubt, it was a good game.
I agree. Because
you were rooting for Washington to try to beat Brady. That's what this is all about. Everybody was like, beat Brady, knock Brady out. So
Chase Young was trying his best.
Yeah, the defense played. I mean, defense did all that they could do. The future is bright for Washington. I like what Rivera got going on. He cut he doesn't have a problem with cutting bad seeds and all those type of things to get the team in the right spot. Now all they gotta do is get a name, and they might be on to something.
Right.
True.
Yep. And then the Buffalo Bills almost gave the game away to the Indianapolis Colts. They were in control for most of the game, and then then they just started making bad plays. I mean, not bad plays. The play calling started becoming bad. There was burning timeouts at the wrong time, giving the Colts extra chances.
As a fan of a terrible team, sometimes when you get good, you still got that terrible in you, and you got to fight that off or push it down. and Buffalo was able to push it down just enough. Fortunately, they were going against Phillip Rivers, so I felt bad for Phillip Rivers just because he's been in the league forever. This is his swan song team, and he still couldn't get over this little.
But he took him to the playoffs, though. You got to give Phillip Rivers.
But the Colts always get to the playoffs. It's the AFC South.
You got to give him some credit. Well, this is true. Like the NFC East, this is true.
Yeah.
Because two of the teams, both teams, it's Tennessee, Colts, Jacksonville, and the Texans.
Yep.
And two of the four got top 5 picks. So you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then what else? Oh,
had top 5 because Texans don't have a pick. That shit show.
It was a great game. This should have been a primetime game. Tennessee Titans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Great game. Shout out to Lamar Jackson proving the doubters wrong again. He could win a playoff game.
I was happy he won.
Shots out. I am too, but shots out to the Ravens defense for shutting down Henry. Once they shut that truck down, the bottom fell out. So
he only had 40 yards.
40 yards, man. You talking about a guy who averaged 5.4 yards a carry to only get 40 yards in the playoffs? Lamar needs to buy Rolexes for that whole defense and the defensive coordinator. Anybody associated with defense over there, they need to pay.
You see, he outran his passing, I believe. I think he only passed for like 120 and ran for 135.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever it takes to win.
Hey, you got to make it happen.
Hey, it was funny watching that game because they were bottling him up. And then all of a sudden, like just like it was a slippery pig, he just slid on through there. And then
caught that scramble, and it was a wrap.
It was a wrap.
Yep. That 57-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was what sparked the defense. After that, the defense came alive.
Yeah.
But now remember there's a Harbaugh. That's a coach. That's the head coach. And we saw last year how he screwed them over last year. It wasn't on the team. It was him that screwed them last year. Can he get out the way this year and allow Lamar to be Lamar? Because this game was they allowed him to be Lamar. When they lost last year, they tried to make him a pocket pass. They allowed him to do what he do. Will they allow him to continue doing what he's doing, or will they box him in and try to make him a prototypical quarterback in the playoffs?
Who they playing?
No, that was the game plan in the beginning of the game. Or if you watch the first quarter, they was trying to make him a pocket passer, and Lamar was just throwing bad passes. Like that one interception was horrible.
Right.
I don't think it's
check. We're not running that.
I don't think it's as much of them trying to change him as they are trying to play like a little bit of chess. Like I think they want to appear as if they're trying to change Lamar, and then once they can kind of still hold their own through after a half, then they can let him go do his thing. So kind of like give that appearance, soften them up, make them think that, oh, this is what we're doing, make them get a little comfortable and confident, so they'll back up a little bit. So once they back up to try to, come at these little pocket passes that they know are going to be inaccurate, that gives them room to start doing his thing.
And poor little, I don't know, I can't remember his number. I just remember he had them red sleeves on. This guy was tasked with spying him all game. And he did a good job, man. He did a pretty good job early on, but that's like going out, telling the kid, go chase this chicken in the yard. Like, you're not going to catch him. You know what I'm saying? At some point, he going to get loose.
Yep. And then the last game, it was great. It was on Nickelodeon. That was a great experience.
That was awesome.
They had the slime cannon. They had the SpongeBob field goal. They had the big googly eyes. They had the smoke underneath the feet.
That was the best part of it. Now, Nickelodeon, the smoke coming off the feet and the little piles and wows, they need to have that implemented throughout the game, not on replays. That was so awesome to see Kamar dashing across the field and smoke coming off his feet while he cut. Man, that was awesome.
My dumb tail just watching it on network TV.
Yeah, you missed out.
Especially the whole SpongeBob. I'm like, the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, my daughter was screaming SpongeBob, and then every time the slam cannon went off, AJ was like, touchdown, Chicago Bears. I'm like, no, that's not us.
And that was funny though, because even my wife doesn't, like, she'll sit down and watch basketball with me, but she won't watch football. Yeah. So it was because it had all this stuff happening in the game. She sat down and watched, and we were all rooting. Like, we don't care who scores. Just we just want to see the slime cam. We just want to see the slime cam.
Yeah. So
it was cool. It was cool. But the right team.
I was right about that same secondary. It was horrible. Our worst wide receiver was wide open in the end zone. And there's a reason why he's the worst wide receiver, because he dropped the pass.
It was a flea flicker.
Featherstone.
It was a flea flicker. But, we didn't look that bad, G. Our defense didn't look that bad.
No. I say your secondary is bad. You guys are, I'll say you guys are number one stopping the run.
Yeah, we definitely have good run defense. Now, I'm not saying our secondary is the greatest. We are definitely suspect, but we're not the worst like you portrayed.
Didn't nobody bait him into a fight again?
Yep, that happened. Dude, they stopped practice. The Bears stopped practice to have a Gardner shit talking session, how to combat his shit talking, and it still didn't work. Like, you had a practice session for this, and it still got kicked.
And he still got under your skin.
It still got under his skin. I just want to know, somebody to do an interview with this dude and ask him, what is he saying to these people to get under these people's skin? Like, he must have
to be Gary Payton level or something.
It's got to be worse than that. It has to be like these rap battles where they doing research and getting personal information from people, and then talking about their mother and I guess your cockeyed mama and stuff like that.
Right. He's on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
He's on their wife's Instagram page saying, like, hey, you know who gave her that blouse last week? That was me.
Hey, you see her do the busted challenge? Yeah, I did. I liked it.
Yeah. You see that hat in the background? That was me hiding. It gotta be something of that sort.
It's gotta be something, man. Tell your wife to send me my shoes back. I left them under the bed. So it has to be something, man. If you discuss it and you talk about it and you acknowledge that this could be a factor, and it still plays into in their hands.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, you know what didn't play into their hands? The ball.
Yeah.
He hit him in the wrong spot in his hands.
So the upcoming playoff games now, because the NFL does reseeding. So the Packers will play against the Rams. That should be a good matchup. We got the battle of the 40-year-olds with Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. Well, the Saints 3-0 the Bucks.
We should.
Where's it at?
It's in New Orleans.
New Orleans, baby. You know what's going down.
Well, shoot, Tom Brady done won Super Bowls in New Orleans, hadn't
he? He won't win his playoff game in New Orleans. That's for sure.
We shall see.
Yep.
Antonio Brown been heating up quietly.
Oh, talking about Antonio Brown. Hey, remember where everybody said Antonio Brown was crazy and he don't know what he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So here's some fun facts. Antonio Brown said this is the time he said he made Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster have not had a 100-yard game in the regular season or like since Antonio Brown left.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the rub on him. But I think it's the scheme, because just as Juju became number one, Claypool started blowing up just like Juju did when AB was there. So I think it's the scheme.
And let Claypool get open.
Yeah, so it's just the number two getting the shine because they marked the number one.
Mm-hmm. And they don't have that potent running game either anymore. So
right. I mean, Connor can bust you up a little bit, but he gets hurt so often.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know.
And then he was saying that Ben Roethlisberger is trash. He just pads his stats.
Well, that's true.
And Ben Roethlisberger is the reason why Pittsburgh lost on Sunday. Sunday. They play Sunday.
I think it was a team effort, really. But yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
He's the captain of the team, so yes.
That season, their regular season was so soft that they just weren't battle tested. When it came down to win or go home, they just got succumbed to the pressure of it all. That's all.
I think they let their ego get in the way because they knew that they had some weaknesses that could be exposed. And so instead of trying to attack those weaknesses that they knew they couldn't fix, they just tried to cover it up with the bravado and the macho. Because the old Steelers, the ones that everybody loves and references, would just beat you up. This team couldn't beat you up.
No, they're not. They don't have that physical running game anymore. Like it doesn't matter what year it was. It could be 1970. 1980, 1990, 2000, they always had a bruising running game, and they just don't have that bruising running game anymore. And that tenacious defense like they normally have.
Middle Watt about to turn into Big Watt with these losses.
He may be, his big brother may be on his way over there come this off season. So
I guess if they got good health care, because he's just gonna take them injuries over there with him too.
Hey man, listen, as long as he can get the side doctor to fill up that tricky needle, he all right, man. He's good. He good. So
all right. So the next game, the AFC, we got the Bills versus the Ravens. Those are the two youngest quarterbacks.
That's gonna be good.
That should be a very good matchup. Allen versus Jackson. And then we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. And I think the best thing that happened to the Cleveland Browns was their head coach not being there due to COVID.
So he's missed another week, Gio?
Yeah, he should definitely miss another week. If the Bears, Matt Nagy would have missed last week's game against COVID, it would have been a better, more competitive game.
He did miss the game. He just showed up.
Yeah.
But now I think the Browns are going to score early and feel like they got it, but that's just going to be because the Chiefs got a week off. And then it's going to be 49-7.
Yeah, it's going to happen the same way it happened last year with the Texans. They come out big, score early. They felt like, we're in control, and then Kansas City just blows them out the water. You know, I think we all watch Cleveland and want to watch their quarterback. When is he going to throw that pick? When is he going to self-destruct? And at some point in time, Mayfield will self-destruct. And he didn't self-destruct this week, which was surprising. So they did pretty well. But at some point, he's going to self-destruct. You know, he's going to pull out the old tin cup and start just throwing pick after pick after pick.
If not, Landry will. Somebody will explode a little bit. Maybe it'll be Garrett. I hope everybody watch out.
Maybe it's gonna be LBJ on the sideline. Who knows?
Nah, you know you're a Cowboy fan.
He's trying to get up out of there, I'm sure.
I'm interested in seeing Lamar versus Josh Allen.
Yeah, that should be good.
I want Lamar to win, but I don't know the way these Bills are looking.
No, the way the Bills ended that last game against the Colts, the Ravens going to take advantage of that.
They play really good. We highlight Lamar, but the Ravens play really, really good defense, and they are built. They don't have nowhere near the running game that Tennessee has. So if they was able to corral that dump truck, that running game, so they can focus on the pass now and pressure Allen, it should be in the Ravens' hands. The Ravens should be able to get to the next round.
Allen better than Tannehill, though.
This is true.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But
I mean, I want to see it happen, but I'm also like, these Bills might not be one to mess with.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, but it is still the Bills. So they either could show up or they cannot show up. There's nothing in between with them. You know,
no Kyrie.
No, well, I don't know if they're gonna take a PPO day, but but I'm more interested in, and it's not me being a homer. I'm more interested in seeing Tom Brady and Breeze go at it, because we may not get to see this again. This may be the last time you see two great quarterbacks duel it out. You know, the last hurrah, for the curtain call.
It's gonna be grumpy old man in the football.
But you're gonna, but to see them do what they do for one last time, you know, you want to watch that.
We've seen it already with Brady and Peyton.
But head to head, though. To see them go.
We did see Brady and Peyton head to head.
And we used to say the same stuff we say now.
I'm with say P on this. I want to see Allen versus. I want to see these young quarterbacks go head to head.
I'm not worried about nobody's Breeze or nobody's Brady. But I will say I think that the Bucs have a chance because AB is heating up.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans is either hurt or
no, he played. He killed last game.
Didn't he get hurt though?
Yeah, but he's always hurt. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So he's gonna get hurt again. So I'm not sure. I mean, it's football. I'm gonna watch it. So don't pretend like I'm not watching all these games. But what I'm excited about is definitely Lamar versus Allen.
Yeah.
What I'll just, what I'm gonna cook during is Brady and Breeze.
Really? That's really?
Yeah.
That's how you do my boys?
You wouldn't care this much if Breeze played for the anybody but the Saints.
You're probably right. But I definitely want to see Lamar. I want to see Lamar get to the Super Bowl. I just want to see him get to the Super Bowl one time. So I'm definitely pulling for the Ravens. Definitely.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to beat
Kansas City.
Oh, and the last highlight for the Chicago Bears season, Mitch Trubisky won in a landslide the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Award.
I was like, it's got to be kids just vote. We just like the way his haircut. We just like the way he wears uniform. Like that came out of left field. Like the little 14-year-old kid who was on the sideline. He was a sideline reporter. And so he announced that I was like, wait a minute, that came out of left field. Like they did lose, although they lost, but Trubisky wins the MVP. Where did you do that at?
That's karma. That is karma because the Bears weren't supposed to be there. They're only in because the Cardinals choked, and the only reason they were in contention is because in week 1 they got a gift from the Detroit Lions.
Thank you.
Who dropped the ball in the end zone, and what did they do? The Bears dropped the ball in the end zone this game when it mattered most.
They paid it back to you. They paid it forward.
Right. Karma is a bitch, and she waited 17 weeks to strike back.
I'm here to collect. I thank him. We're moving on to the next round.
Wasted everybody's time. We could have at least seen Kyler Murray run around and pass to Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. If he decides to keep playing, that could have been a little game for him. But no, we had to get the Bears, and they didn't do nothing. So,
right. So, yep. We're going to try this new segment for the show called the Coach's Corner, where we break down the play from the previous week. And this particular play was from the national championship game, Alabama versus Ohio State. And
I'm here for this.
Yeah. So
you really have to break this down?
Yeah, we'll break it down. I'll do the defense and you do the offense. I'll just set up the play. So the particular play is Devontae Smith scored on the touchdown, and they had him lined up in the slot. And Ohio State was in man coverage.
No, they weren't.
They didn't cover no man.
Man free. They were in man free, and he runs like a 5-yard crosser, and they want him to pick up the middle linebacker was supposed to pick him up one-on-one.
No, yeah, that was the middle linebacker assignment. The middle linebacker assignment was pick up the slot guy. The slot guy was running a crosser or a crossing pattern, and the linebacker probably runs a 5.4 40.
If that fast, that may be too fast.
Right.
He blew right past him.
Yeah. So that wasn't a good idea.
That whole game was terrible, man. You should have picked another place, Gio. That
what play you want? You want the play where they were in man coverage and he burned Wade on the fly route?
Or when they said, okay, they trying to give Sarkisian all this credit, like he's just great X's an old guy, gets his DB, gets his wide receiver to run back and forth behind the quarterback and then take off at the snap of the ball to get wide open. Like, come on, man. That's not.
No. I'll give you a good play. Harris touchdown off the flat.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying so Ohio State defensive line was blitzing that defensive line or their front seven were hitting those gaps. So they were taking away the running lanes for Harris. And shout out to Nick Saban or whatever, or the offensive coordinator who's going to be Bill O'Brien come next season. So they knew they were taking away all the gap assignments. So he just threw a little flat pass to Harris, and he scored on the touchdown, made 2 guys miss.
Mm-hmm.
Now the play that was I'm gonna give some semblance of scheming was when Smith was in the slot, right, and then he comes into motion back towards the running back, and he does the play action. Everybody move to the right, and then he bubbles back out for the pass. Now that was really dope. I got to see the replay on that. That was a pretty innovative play, but I just think it was a game where the Ohio State was just void of defense. They just didn't show up, man. I just think they saw, Alabama walked on the field and got scared. I mean, it just wasn't entertaining. Let's say that. It just wasn't entertaining at all.
Yeah, they got steam.
Well, because you're a Michigan fan, man, so you would definitely want to see them thump. And I feel I'm the SEC guy, so I feel the same. I feel the opposite. I hated to see it. You know.
Right. So would you say Nick Saban's the GOAT?
Nick Saban has to be one of the greatest coaches of all time, and I can say that. I can say that without having any animosity. I mean, he did help us get us championship. He's at what 7 rings now with Alabama, plus 1 with us. That's 8.
No,
I mean
6 plus 1.
6 Alabama.
Alabama plus 1 with us. That's 7. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'll just be glad when he retires. You know, get up out the SEC, man, so we could, you know, we get a chip every now and then. You know, we have a good season every now. We have to face that madness every year. You know, y'all don't have to face that. So, you know, I'll be glad when he leaves.
Right. All right. And CP, you got any thoughts?
Normally I have some in-depth thoughts or just some cool way to connect everything and just a little nugget to make y'all think. But just keep it real with y'all. Ohio State lost, and I'm good. Like, it's fine by me. Yes, my team wasn't in it and wasn't nowhere near it. And we re-signed Jim Harbaugh to whatever. Michigan basketball's doing good, though.
Fans got an extension. But shouts out to Juwan Howard, man. They definitely 3-game win streak going on. He's definitely got those guys playing really good basketball.
And they won tonight, too. So they're 11-0, maybe 12-0, whatever. Either way, they balling. So still go.
That's what I wanted.
But
that's what I wanted to be the Bulls head coach.
Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at some point he's going to get to the pros. At some point he's going. Right now he's just cutting his teeth, and he's going to go to the pros.
Fair enough. But until he does, go blue. And because I'm a hater, I was glad that Ohio State lost, and I'm glad they lost badly. Like, it's one thing if they lose by like a field goal or like, oh, it was a good game. They're still good. This could happen. Nah, Big Ten was wilding this year anyway. Talking about we're not going to the bubble. Then Big Ten their way into the playing football. Then they only had 4 games, and they still made special rules to let Ohio State in. So obviously they spent a whole offseason practicing. So they beat the crap out of Clemson, which is, you know, that's what's up. But then they got here, and like I like to say, life comes at you fast. And
message.
Hey, I'm good. I am good. Sorry.
One more thing. Trigger alert. Looks like Adam Gase is the front runner for the Philadelphia Eagles head coaching job.
Ooh.
I don't know what kind of dirt he has on NFL owners or executives, but he must have some. He must have some stuff.
He definitely have the big joker. If this was a Space game, he pulling big jokers out of his shoes, his hat, his sleeves. Because you go from Miami, where you sucked it up, to go to the Jets, and they give you a promotion. Not just a job, not just a parallel job, but a promotion to GM. Then you get fired from that, and you're the lead runner for the Eagles to get back.
He got the launch codes or something.
He definitely has the Da Vinci Code. He definitely does.
Yeah. Well, on that, guys, we're out.